From BamaCentral.com, I'm Blake Byler here with Katie Wyndham, and we're here reacting to the recent news of Alabama head coach Nick Saban announcing his retirement at the end of this season. Katie, just honestly, let's get into it. First reactions. What does this mean for Alabama? What does this mean for Nick Saban, and what kind of legacy do you think he's leaving here at Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, my instant reaction honestly was shock. I'd heard rumblings all year long from some people that are well connected that if Nick Saban won a championship this year, that he would retire and kind of go out on that note. And obviously, there were some reports the Rose Bowl that Nick Saban might retire, but since Alabama lost, I just wasn't necessarily expecting this to happen at this point, but also respect the way Saban did it of meeting with his team before any of it got out to the media. But the legacy he leaves is he's the greatest college football coach of all time, one of the greatest team sport coaches of all time. Seven national titles overall, six at Alabama, all the SEC championships, all the first round draft picks, bringing Alabama their first Heisman winner, not only just one, but four. Um, the guys he sent off to the NFL and that have done some great things. And yeah, it's gonna be big shoes to fill for sure for whoever has that job. It's also, part of the interaction is this is not the this is what I expected in the sense from Saban retiring, in that he wasn't going to do a grand retirement tour. He was never going to do a
No.
Coach K announce before the season. Everyone look at me. This is about how I expected it would happen. I just wasn't necessarily expecting it to happen today.
I agree with that. But honestly, I think if there was ever a time for him to walk away, this season really makes a lot of sense. Because when you look at the way the college football landscape is changing going forward into
Mhm.
2024, you have all this insane, crazy realignment. You have um, teams joining conferences that are nowhere near geographically where they're supposed to be. You have the 12-team playoff, transfer portal, NIL, all of these things adding up. And 2024 is really like the start point of an entirely new era of college football. And so whenever you look at it that way, I think for him to be stepping away at this time, it makes a little bit of sense for in terms of what the college football landscape looks like. But obviously it's a massive, massive shock, but you hit everything. I mean, the legacy that he's leaving, the greatest coach of all time. I mean, there's not much else to say with all of the accomplishments that he had. The national championship at LSU, six national championships at Alabama, probably the greatest dynasty, definitely the greatest dynasty in college football history, one of the greatest in all of team sports, all of American sports that we've seen. So unless you do you have anything else that you wanted to add about this retirement, anything else about Saban?
Yeah, I was just saying, timing wise, as far as, yeah, where college football is, his age, he is in his early 70s.
Yeah.
The average person doesn't work until they're in their early 70s, and he's continued to do it at a high level. He has grandkids, he has kids that he wants to spend time with, and then just also, yeah, the way college football is changing. Next year, a team could play, I believe, with the 12-team playoff up to 17 games a year. Nick Saban
Right.
is so regiment oriented. He has ways he likes to do things. We've obviously all seen him adapt. He's adapted with the playoff. He's adapted with pro style offenses. He's adapted with no huddle, that kind of stuff. But this would just be even more of that. And so, as far as timing of the college football landscape, it makes sense. But BamaCentral will have you covered with all this. The inevitable press conference is probably going to come in the next couple of hours. The coaching search. Greg Byrne, Alabama's AD, is kind of notorious, famous, or infamous, however you want to look at it, for being the ninja and not letting things get out. There's already obviously names floating around, but we will keep you posted with all of that. But that will wrap up kind of our instant reaction to Nick Saban retiring in Alabama after 17 seasons as the Crimson Tide's head coach.